Welcome back, everybody, to the Triad of the Fours podcast, a Puerto Rican podcast where our culture, stories, and perspectives shape how we see the galaxy far, far away and frame how we explore Star Wars. Welcome back, everybody.
We are here. We are here. It's been a minute. I know life has gotten in the way, so we couldn't get in touch last week to record about Maul Shadow Lord, but we're back, and that's the important thing. The important thing is not when we're not able to come together, but to actually be able to return. Yeah. So how's it going? How's life? How's life treating you?
Yeah,
I know the world is very difficult right now.
Yeah. The world is kind of a shit show, as we all know.
Unfortunately, we keep repeating this like every other week. It's unrelenting.
Yeah. It's been a year. I can't believe March is already over. March. It's been kind of, the year feels like it's going really, really fast and really, really slow at the same time. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of surreal. And obviously, adulting sucks. So, I mean,
and it doesn't get easier.
I'm complaining. I like having a job that I actually enjoy, but still, it's a little hard sometimes to keep up with the other things that we love, such as Star Wars and other films that are coming out. Like, for example, Project Hail Mary. I started reading the book. I wasn't able to finish it. The film came out. Apparently, it's amazing. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, and I'm kind of debating whether to screw it and just watch it before I finish the book, or to just like hang tight and try to make time to finish it and then go watch it. But either way, I've heard from fans that were fans of the book and watched it, and people that went in it without knowing, just like you, Goose. And it's been overwhelmingly positive feedback that I've heard. So I don't want to miss watching it in the theaters. Like films, I feel in Puerto Rico, at least, they take them out of the theaters pretty fast. Depending on how well they do. So I feel like I have to get on it and just watch it in the theaters. It's been a really long time since I've been to a movie theater. So
I have the advantage that I'm not in the middle of reading the book. So that so
you're like, I'm just gonna watch it.
Exactly. That facilitated my decision a lot. So I sympathize with the feeling.
With the plight.
So definitely my perspective is skewed and biased towards just watch the movie.
Just watch it.
Yeah. I will say that it's a movie that I was definitely looking forward to. I don't know what I was expecting. Like, I remember when I saw the trailer, I'm like, okay, this looks good. And then when I had seen that it's from the same writer of The Martian. And The Martian by Ridley Scott, starring Matt Damon. Great movie. I love that film so much. And, so funny, especially for a Ridley Scott film. When I saw that, that's Chris... oh my God, I forget their names. Phil Lord and Chris Miller were doing this one, which, they had done 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street. They did the Spider-Verse films. Notoriously fired from Solo, which we'll talk about in a minute. So I'm like, okay, this will be interesting to see like this type of movie be treated by these directors that are known a little bit more for some of their comedic chops. Not that not that they can't make heartfelt stories, because the Spider-Verse films are definitely very heartfelt and deeply emotional.
And gut-wrenching and gorgeous.
Exactly. Oh, we're waiting for the third part. Come on, hurry up. We need the third one. If we survive 2026, who knows?
Yeah, that cliffhanger was totally unnecessary.
Hey, but it's forcing us to wait till 2027. So that got me curious. And sci-fi. I love sci-fi. Let's do it. Ryan Gosling. We love Ryan Gosling in this house, and we're very excited for Starfighter next year. So we get a little taste of what.
Are you even more excited now about Starfighter after watching the performance?
Let's talk about that. And then this cinema here in Chicago, it's one of my favorite ones. Is the Music Box Theater. It's over 100 years old. One of those classic, old school theaters with the marquee. It's absolutely stunning. And they always do screenings in film, right? 35 millimeter and 70 millimeter. And for Project Hail Mary, they did an advanced 70 millimeter screening last week, the week before, but when we're recording this, a week before last week. There we go. So 2 weeks ago, basically. So a week before it had come out. So
Okay.
I was so excited for this, so jazzed. And when I got to the movie theater, it was just absolutely packed. And I will tell you, I love going to the movies. I see so many movies in the movie theater. And this
Yeah.
one, it really felt to me like when I saw Interstellar, not because it's a sci-fi film, but it's
Right.
because I remember
Of the scale
Interstellar
of the film.
being the
Yeah.
last one of the last I mean, all movies make me be in awe of cinema, but like I remember when I watched Interstellar, that whole scene with the black hole when they're kind of entering
Oh
it,
yeah.
like my jaw was
Oh
on the
my
floor
God. Yeah, yeah.
with
The way
how
they, yeah,
yes, and
translated what was happening into
yes,
visual form
yes,
without then having to explain it to you. You can just see
yes,
it. Oh yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And I felt that exact emotion and joy and awe and
Yeah. Mhm.
wonder watching Project Hail Mary, and no, I mean, it because everything came together. Like the music was phenomenal. They have one of the best needle drops in a movie. I'm not gonna tell you what song it is, but it's one of my
Okay.
favorite songs from one of my favorite bands, and I'm not gonna tell you which one it is either.
Yeah.
But when that happened, like I almost started crying because when I heard it, I was like, "Oh my God, that's the perfect use of that
Of
song
that song
in
in
that
this
moment."
moment.
Magnificent. I keep hyping it up to everybody, and I think that no one cares except me. But whatever. It's besides the point. So stunning. Ryan Gosling crushed it. I think he was so good. I mean, he's good in everything, but his
He is,
personality
which is like
really
really unfair.
it's very
Yeah.
annoying. Like we've
Yeah.
talked about this before.
Yeah.
He's
He's so good
extremely
looking
annoying.
and he can sing and he can dance and he's kind of rocks every role pretty much. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not
it's very unfair. It's
you're not
completely unfair.
allowed to be that talented,
Yeah.
and we say that with love, but we hate
Yeah.
you, Ryan Gosling, but in the best kind of way, you know. So,
It comes
like
from a place of love.
it comes from a place of love, and we
Mhm.
were there. We were there when we saw it. We were there with our good friend Jane, whom people that are listening to this, like she has been one of our team members for Star Wars trivia over at Epic Confrontations, and is a big fan of the Project Hail Mary book. And when we came out of the movie, I asked her like, "Oh, how did you feel about it?" And she was like, "This was incredible. It really captured the spirit of the book. There were changes, but the changes were in keeping with what the you know
Yeah.
the ethos, right, of the book is. So it's been good to see, and as the movie has come out, and I'm seeing more and more reactions, both from people at work that have talked to me about their experience watching the movie, and then seeing people's reaction on social media. I'm like, this is great. It's great to see like this unanimous acceptance of this beautiful, beautiful movie. And I have to say, like I was saying, I'm biased, so you have to see it in a big screen. It does. There's no
Yeah.
comparison
You
seeing
have
it.
to. Yeah.
Doesn't
Hmm.
I don't care how big your TV is. I don't care how great your sound system is.
Yeah.
It's not,
It's not the same. Yeah.
the scope and majesty of some of the sequences in that movie just deserve to be seen in the
In the big
biggest
screen.
theater that you can.
Yeah.
So that's my spiel, right, about Prague
Okay.
Hail Mary, because I don't want to spoil anything.
Mhm.
So, take my very biased opinion
And watch it in the movie theaters.
and watch it in the movie theater. Support your local cinema, even though Puerto Rico has a cinema monopoly, but
Right. Hmm.
well, we don't talk about that, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, anyway, I will try my best to watch it, and maybe we can talk about it while it's still timely to talk about Project Hail Mary because it feels like you're really excited about it. I was really excited when the trailer started coming out. Like I said, I started reading the book because one of my colleagues at work lent it to me when it first announced its
Mhm.
release. It's like the same author as The Martian. It's fantastic. I've loved this for years. And they actually did go to watch it in the theaters, and it was almost the same reaction as your friend Goose. They were like, you want to nitpick and be like, oh my God, they changed all these things. But he said that at the end of the day, it was so good that even the nitpicks kind of went away.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
so they loved it. And another one of the colleagues liked it so much they already watched it like twice over the weekend. So I think it's really good, feedback that I've been receiving. So they said probably, read the book first just so you can have the appreciation of it. But at this point, I don't have time. I read so much as a lawyer that I don't have time
Yeah.
to read for
Although
fun, really.
you'll kind of have to, you'll have that double experience. You'll be
Yeah,
able to kind of
yeah.
simultaneously be like, well, I've read the book and now I'm watching the
Because I've
movie,
read
but
some of
also I watched
it.
the
Yeah,
movie and then
yeah.
watching, so have that part of being like, how does coming at it from
Hmm.
both sides at the same time. So it'll be
So
interesting then to kind of finish the book, if you assuming you watch the
after,
movie, and then
yeah,
finish the
after
book
I'm.
after that.
Mhm.
So
So,
I don't
so
know,
I think
do
either
it.
way it works. It's just enjoyment. It's entertainment. So I think it's worth it to see it in the big screens. I haven't, like I said, I haven't been to the movie theaters in a while, which I'm very upset about because I love going to the movie theaters. Like me and Hosbando used to kind of make a point of going at least once a week to the
Hmm.
theaters. And we have one right right next to
Yeah, I
our
don't know. I don't know why
house.
you don't go.
So
Like, it's like
yeah,
go, just go. You
I
can
know.
walk to it
It's
basically.
ridiculous. Yeah. So yeah, so let's see if I can see it and we can maybe talk about it soon before we start recording our Maul Shadow Lord episodes because
Which
that's
we are
coming out.
2 weeks away.
Mhm. April 6th. We have an entire roster of guests to discuss the episodes as they come out. And as we said at the beginning of the episode, we were a little late to talk about the trailer, but it doesn't matter. We're on the hype train for Maul right now. We're just going to keep doing episodes up until the release. And that trailer was so good. What did you think, Goose?
Extremely good. And not that we didn't know that it wasn't going to be great, but it's
Yeah.
just, I think what one of the great things about this trailer specifically, that the other the teaser trailer also had, but this one just doubled down a little bit on it, was the darkness and more of
Right.
the horror aspect
Right.
of the show, which maybe the show itself won't lean into those things. Maybe this was just like how they decided to edit this specific
I
trailer for
really
it.
hope they do, though.
I do as well, because it's a
Hmm.
flavor of Star Wars that I know that lots of fans have been clamoring for. Everyone's always said, like, what does a Star Wars horror movie look like? And when Obi-Wan Kenobi came out, that scene with Vader in the village,
Oh, yeah.
killing the villagers and everything,
Full horror Vader.
people were like, "Oh, this is starting to get to the core, right, of what Star Wars horror could be." So now Maul Shadow Lord might fulfill that itch that a lot of people, myself included, have had
Mhm.
about that trail, about having horror in Star Wars. And
And our one
Maul.
co-host Mo, who always really was very excited about the horror Star Wars
We'll see. We'll see. I
happening.
have to
So
text Mo to see if they even know that there's
if they even know that this is
if they
happening, I
even know
know.
that the show's happening.
Yeah,
That Mo goes off, off the
yeah,
reservation
off the grid
sometimes.
a little bit. Yeah.
I'll need to check in and ask. But what did you think? What did you think? Because I know it's always interesting to see your opinion, because you're very averse to seeing trailers and you don't want to see
Yeah,
anything. And I have forced you to,
yeah,
no pun intended,
they
to
do them.
watch
Yeah.
Star Wars trailers specifically.
Yeah,
Everything else
it's
you
fair
don't need
game.
to watch. But
Yeah.
but the Star Wars ones, kind of obligated, since we have this job that we do, a job that costs us money, not makes us money, but we enjoy
Uh-huh.
nonetheless. So what was that experience for you?
So I mean, I remember last week we were actually planning to record a video about it because it was so good when it came out, but it was the middle of the week and I ended up getting out of work super late and we were exhausted. So that's why we're
Yeah.
doing it today. But I remember you telling me just watch it. It's so good. And Hosbando as well, who's actually averse to watching trailers most of the time as well. In the middle of the day, he texted me like, "Oh my God, have you watched the trailer for Maul? It's amazing." And that was surprising to me that he would like just in the middle of the day say that this trailer is a
Hmm.
must see. So it is a must see. I mean, at this point, I wasn't expecting to get that much because I think we'd gotten 2 teasers already, and I was already hyped about the show
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything. And then this one come out, and it, like you said, it changed the tone of what they're showing to us so much. I mean, I think, and I've loved the way that they framed the other ones as well, but this one just kind of adding that horror feel to it. I think they did an amazing job with the sound editing
Hmm.
and the
Hmm. Hmm.
soundtrack coming through it, and especially towards the end when they do Duel of the Fates, kind
Yeah,
of a
yeah,
remastered
yeah.
version that and Maul laughing as he's destroying everything, and kind of the combination of like joining the sabers and using them jointly, and then even at the end they were usually doing like just the one saber, and this one was like both of them
Hmm.
slapping at the
Hmm.
end.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know, there were some really cool details to it that got me really excited about it, and I think it built up as the trailer went on.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and I feel like it answered some questions and built even more questions in some
Hmm. Hmm.
aspects. But I'm really, because we were speculating about him and the relationship to the Jedi, and I'm kind of really
Hmm.
into the whole idea of the enemy of the enemy is my friend,
Yep. Yep.
not
Yep.
necessarily a more attachment situation, which I'm feeling like it will turn into a more attachment situation. I'm really very getting very much when he was trying to mentor Ezra
Okay, because when you said
vibes.
attachment, I thought you were meaning more romantic attachment.
No, no. More kind of partnership. I actually care
Hmm.
about you, not just I'm using you to further my goals kind of situation,
Interesting.
which
Okay.
either way could go very well, I think, in the case of a character like Maul. Especially, it seems pretty close to the betrayal after Clone Wars, so it's like a very angry Maul at this point.
Hmm.
So not that he wasn't a very
Exactly.
kind,
That's what
yeah,
I was
to
gonna
begin
say.
with. Yeah,
When
yeah,
isn't Maul angry?
yeah,
You know, I
yeah,
don't think
yeah,
he's had a. I don't think he's had a nice day at the beach where he's just,
yeah.
kicking back, having a
Mm-hmm.
mai tai, and enjoying the sunshine. He's
Yeah,
a he's an angry boy,
yeah.
and that's why we love him, though. That's why we love him. But speaking a little bit to that about Maul and his story and his anger, StarWars.com, always does a little article when trailers are released, and it always gives a little bit of information, not too much, just enough to get
Perspective.
yeah, and getting all the podcasts to talk about whatever scraps they give us. And there's this very interesting quote that Filoni says here in the article, and he says that George Lucas and I had some talks about Maul over the years and what his plans for Maul had been. And so I felt it was a way of honoring that future that we were going to have and finally bringing some of it to light, which definitely strikes me as an interesting quote. And I mean, there's not too much threads to pull out of it, but to me, and we
Hmm.
talked a little bit about it last time we talked about the Maul teaser trailer, but it just reminds me of what George had said in, was it the Star Wars Archive with Paul Duncan? I don't know, one of the interviews that he had done post selling Lucasfilm and the sequel
Right.
trilogy had come out, where he talked about his original ideas for Star Wars Episode 7, in which he was going to bring back Maul, and it was going to be with Darth Talon. And as we discussed last time, Darth Talon's like the Twi'lek, red Sith with the tattoos like Maul, which is a little
Yeah.
over sexualized in the comic books, but that was, I think, the edginess of the early 2000s. But George Lucas hinted that that was a direction that he was gonna go in with Episode 7. Which, is it true? I don't know. I rarely trust George Lucas because he has a lot of
Right.
revisionist history every time he
Yeah.
talks about
Hindsight's
things.
2020 a lot for him.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
but connecting that all of a sudden to what Filoni said here in this interview makes me think of, like, oh, maybe that was kind of true, and maybe this is his way of
Yeah.
honoring. It's like, oh, let's take some of the elements of what those story beats could have been in Episode
Could have been.
7,
Yeah.
and then make them rework them for Shadow Lord, because obviously the character of Devon. I mean, she's not Sith red, but darker pink, so pushing towards red. And as a Twi'lek partnered with Maul, definitely all of the fandom was talking, ourselves included, right? Talking about how that could be that character, but in practice, I think in reality, I think it's just going to be a character that's supposed to pay homage to it, and it seems that Filoni's quote maybe confirms that.
Okay.
Maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but
I
something,
guess we'll find out soon. If
food for thought.
Mhm.
Another thing though was the art. Like the art on this, and it's like we're
Oh yeah.
beating a dead horse on
Star
it,
Wars
but it's just
animation keeps getting more and more beautiful. It really does. I mean, the play with the colors and shadows and everything they're doing just from the trailer, it looks insane. It really does. And the fight sequences and everything that's going on, it's just really impressive. So I really do hope, obviously we love slow burn storylines and all of that, but we also really enjoy a good action sequence in Star Wars, especially animation, which I feel like there's so much more that you can pull off because of the angles and the way that you can manipulate the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be a really fun show to watch. And not to hate on Mando and Grogu, but I'm really way more excited about this show than I am about the film. Aside from the fact that it is a film and we get to watch it in the big screen,
Mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm,
it's a little balancing act there.
It's a balancing act, that's for sure. There's a certain freedom that Star Wars animation has always had, where it can do basically whatever it wants, and it really shines because of that, in a way that live action sometimes feels like it's tethered, and it's one of those things where, especially now compared with Project Hail Mary, like we were talking about before, it's that's a product, sure, it's based on a book, but it really felt like it was free and was able to be really honest to itself, in a way that I don't, and I hope to be wrong, right? I hope that when I come out of Mando and Grogu, I'll be like, oh damn, look at the joy and freedom that they had to make this movie. But right now, I mean, I'm getting excited. Don't get me wrong, I'm getting excited. Star Wars on the big screen is always fun, and like the trailers look fun, so the hype is slowly building in me. But I just see the corporate cynicism as a veneer on top of Mando and Grogu that just bums me out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. And it's like you just said, like with Maul, it's kind of the opposite. You just see the freedom to just do whatever story you want, even though it's still interesting to me that they chose Maul to continue like this Clone Wars storytelling, because it's the second spin-off, right, from Clone Wars. We had the Bad Batch, now we have Maul, and we know where Maul's story ends, so it's kind of like this weird in-between space.
We've seen the end.
So exactly, and Maul's a character, and I want your opinion on this. Maul's a character that is defined by his lack of growth, right? He's the anti-Ahsoka, right? Where Ahsoka, through her adversity, grows and becomes a better Jedi, even after leaving the Jedi Order. Maul leaves this. Well, he doesn't leave it. He is ejected from the Sith Order, but doesn't better himself, right? He's stuck on revenge, to the point where he confronts Kenobi years later, after their fight in Naboo, and is still consumed by that hatred, and we keep seeing that. So it'll be interesting to see what his character growth will be like in the show, for a character that's kind of defined by his lack of growth. So like what are your thoughts on that?
It is interesting. It is interesting, especially because we know exactly where he ends up. But I feel like there's a lot of room for storytelling, because there are a lot of years there where we didn't know what was really going on with him. And it looks, to me, I think it's a little harsh to say that he was completely stunted, because I feel like multiple times he did start to grow. He was just thwarted in that growth. Like every single time he tried something new or tried to evolve into something else, it just all went horribly wrong. And he kind of just ended up where he began, but just even angrier and more disappointed each time. So I think at some point he just decided that he's just going to be a hateful bastard and just continue, on that path. So I think there's a chance now, especially as we see him partner with the Jedi and kind of try to make a life apart from, the Empire, and trying to thwart the Empire and trying to be more in a gray area as opposed to just being like completely dark, that we may see a different side of Maul. And if not, it's always awesome to watch a hateful bastard just destroy.
True.
I'm not. So
I don't deny that. We're always happy with a little more Maul.
Yeah, but it's cool because I don't feel like they would have gotten an entire show made if they just wanted to rehash everything we already know about Maul. Yeah. So I'm really intrigued to see. I mean, we have 10 episodes of this, so I feel like there's. Yes.
Oh no! Okay. Keep
That
going.
it is. And so I feel like there's a lot of opportunity here. So
Hmm.
I'm just gonna kind of not have way too many expectations and just enjoy it as it happens, and just get to talk to our friends about how they feel about it. As it's been a while since we've done an episode by
Hmm.
episode
Hmm.
view of a Star Wars show. So yeah, so I'm kind of, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot having way too many expectations about it. I'm just know that everything they've done so far to promote it has been really excited, and with each new thing, I've become even more excited. So in 2 weeks, we got to find out
2 weeks,
with
crazy, crazy. How
with a two
fast?
episode premiere, and yeah, I think it's gonna be great. So I just stay tuned for coverage of Maul and let us know what you think about going into it so close to it, what you're feeling about Maul, and what theories you may have about what we're gonna get to see, and what do you think about Maul as the character that is known for not growing, and how do you feel the show could
Well, I
you
think
know
it'll be interesting in terms
mm-hmm,
of how you pair him, right? Because I think
mm-hmm.
a character that doesn't grow is more compelling with characters that are forced to change around him, right?
Okay, yeah,
So
mm-hmm.
so I
That's
think
interesting.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that the cast of characters, right, that we have for this show is I think really interesting because they're all different versions, right, of different paths that
Yeah.
Maul could have been in a lot of ways. And one character specific that I think will be a really interesting character to watch out for them that we haven't really talked about. And now that the Oscars just happened, we have to kind of mention that we have Oscar nominated actor Wagner Moura from The Secret Agent, who's gonna be playing Brander Lawson, the detective in this new Star Wars neo noir film
Yeah.
that's hunting down Maul here. And I think having an actor of that caliber in a Star Wars, I think is
Yeah.
one phenomenal, and then two, from he sounds incredible in this trailer, and
He
I
does
think
sound incredible. Yeah.
and I
Hmm.
think that his character is going to be really interesting to see how it, compares to Maul, right? Because he's a person in a seedy underworld who's also kind of known. I mean, because the new comic books that are coming out, Shadow of Maul, he's the main character in there, and it's kind of
Okay.
he's starting to hunt Maul, even though he doesn't know it yet. So it
That's
leads
what he's
directly
on the
into the
trail
show.
of. Mhm.
Exactly, and in the
Yeah.
and in the show in the comic book, you can see how he's also he's a detective, but he's not above doing sketchy things. So
Yeah.
what does that mean when he's confronted with this kind of evil, right? So that'll be and I think that's a trope, right? Also in noir films, like
Yeah.
detectives that are not wholly good.
Yeah. And I'm okay
But
with that.
and I'm okay with that because no, I mean that's humanity. No one is one thing. No one's a
Yeah.
monolith. But also seeing Maul confront Devon, right, and seeing that a path that he could have been on, right? He didn't have to
Yeah.
be uh, taken by Palpatine to become a Sith apprentice. He could have, in another reality, maybe he would have been taken by Yoda, right, and taken into
Yeah.
the Jedi Temple. And what would he have become? A guardian of peace, or was he always destined to become a soul that's consumed by
What hatred?
revenge? And I think and I
Yeah.
think that working with Devon's going to be really interesting for what it will reveal about both her as a Jedi and what it means to be a Jedi partnering with the Sith, but then also for Maul, right, and her
Hmm.
development, because you were talking about her being a partner to him, which I asked you a question. Oh, did you mean romantically? But I think I
No.
think I think it's an interesting question. Like, is
Hmm.
Maul capable of love? You know, and how did he end up in that in Malachor or Dathomir? No, not Dathomir. I think it was Malachor in Rebels when Ezra finds him. Was he like heartbroken?
Yeah.
And he's like, I gotta go into my man cave here because I lost my girl or something. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
That would be
Maul's not
interesting.
capable.
That would be interesting. Hmm.
But and then with the Inquisitors, you have Marok, and what's the other one? The Crow is the other one. Yeah, the Crow is the 11th brother. Like
Yeah.
agents of the Empire, like he was supposed to be. It's like what
Right.
does that mean? So I think like all of those three relationships, Inquisitors, the detective, and Devon, are gonna be like
Yeah.
I think the most important thing to see like how everyone changes around
Yeah.
him. And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe Maul will have some kind of not necessarily redemption, but some kind
But
of
a
change.
catharsis,
Maybe he
something.
becomes
Yeah.
worse. Who knows?
Maybe he becomes worse. But anything, I think it's all really interesting. I really like how we've said before that they're framing it into horror. I love that horror is kind of on the way back. I mean, horror was acknowledged very much
Hmm.
so in the Oscars, which I really
Hmm. Hmm.
love that,
Hmm.
Sinners got so much love and Weapons and
Yeah,
all of
weapons, which
that
is
because
amazing. Yeah.
so I mean, horror is a genre that's kind of always been relegated to kind of like B movie status, but there's so much great horror out there
Hmm.
and I would love to see more Star Wars from that lens. So hopefully Maul, kind of doesn't only use it in the trailer, it actually goes into that in the show itself and maybe opens the door for
Yeah.
more horror Star Wars going forward. So I
I,
think
I
that's
mean,
awesome.
I think that it's not just going to be the trailer. I think there's hope for the show to really double down on it because we know Star Wars. I don't know why they did this, but Star Wars actually announced all the episode titles for the whole
Yeah.
the whole show. So
Hmm.
and the titles are good, and they kind of support our wanting of horror because the
Yeah.
first batch of episodes, as we know, and for those who don't know, Maul will be released in batches of 2, so it's only 5 weeks starting in 2 weeks, April 6th, up until May the 4th. But the first batch of episodes is The Dark Revenge and Sinister Schemes. Second
Yeah.
batch, Whispers in the Unknown,
Yeah.
Pride and Vengeance, which obviously is very Pride and Prejudice, but whatever.
But we're good with that.
Inquisition and Night of the Hunted. And then these might be my favorite 2
Yeah.
episode titles: Call to the Oblivion and The
Yeah.
Creeping Fear. And
Yeah.
then finally, Strange Allies and Finale, which finale kind of makes me think that there's not going to be a second season, but good titles.
And that it might not actually be the title. It's just a
Oh, that's,
placer
yeah, hopefully.
title
I hope so.
finale, and then there's like an actual end
That would be
title.
good. That would be good.
And
'Cause this show feels like it should have a second season. It's like, what's
and I
happening
mean,
with
I
Crimson
think it's
Dawn?
telling that it concludes on May the 4th. So we'll see
We'll have a
what
special announcement?
I would
Maybe.
not put it past them at all.
I
You
wouldn't.
know?
I would hope that their
Like,
marketing team is getting ready to kick
yeah,
off this Filoni era with bombastic announcements. But
100%. Mhm.
speaking of bombastic announcements, we have TRIAD. I don't know like how bombastic it is compared to a second season of Maul Shadow Lord, but we have
Mhm.
our list of guests that we've announced them. We've announced them on social media, but if you're someone that's not on social media and don't know about it, we have 5 wonderful guests planned for each week over the next coming week, starting April 6th until May 4th. I'm gonna list them out because I'm very proud. I think we have a good batch of kids here that are gonna help contribute to our conversation. So for the kickoff, we're gonna have returning guest Crystal Kyber. She was with us to talk about Skeleton Crew. We had a great time. So we're
Yeah.
welcoming her back to the podcast. Next week we'll have Hannah Letford from the Just Crate podcast. New friend, from social media. So we're always looking to make new friends and expand, our group,
Oh yeah.
our pool of people that we like to converse with. The third week we'll have someone from Force Center. We've had Ken Knapsack from Force Center in the past, but this week we'll have Joseph Scrimshaw, also from Force Center. So looking forward to that conversation a lot as well. Also, a new friend of the channel is That Nerd Nad. If you're on, I mean, I guess she's on TikTok, but definitely on Instagram. You're on Instagram, you've seen her. She's been blowing up lately with her quirky, irreverent reels. Really, really fun perspectives on a lot of things. So I'm looking forward to see what kind of weird stuff we'll talk about with them when they join us. And then for the finale, one of our best friends here, Molly Damon from Star Wars Explained, to help close things off. So I think we always do great guests, and
Yeah.
this time
Yeah.
it's no exception. I think
Yeah.
that
We've
we're
been really
very
lucky
excited.
with that. Thank you so much to all our friends for always joining us to talk about Star Wars. It's always the best when we have
Always the
guests.
best, exactly.
Yeah.
So very
Mhm.
excited for that. So if you know of anybody that I talked about, hope you're excited to hear our conversation. If you don't know some of the people that we've just talked about, then I hope you listen and get to know them, and you can follow them too. And if you know of people that we should be talking about, maybe let us know in the comments, and we'll make it happen. Maybe for, like, I don't know, maybe we'll bring them on to talk about the Mandalorian and Grogu. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? So I think we're done with that for today. Just looking forward to starting our mall coverage in a couple of weeks, and to talk with all of our guests and to watch this show that we're really excited about, and share it with all of you. So just let us know in the comments how you're feeling about mall. If there's anything else that you're excited about that you want us to talk about, if you watched Project Hail Mary and enjoyed it, all those great things, and if Ryan Gosling impressed you and now you're even more excited about Star Wars Starfighter. So I think that's it for us today. What do you think, Goose?
It is, we can always keep going, but
Oh, yeah, I know.
it's always good to keep it short and sweet.
Mhm. So until next time, we are Triad of the Force. Remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think of the channel and Star Wars in general and other nerddom that we could talk about. So until next time, may the Force be with you.